Hey, hello.
So,
What's up? Um, okay. So let me just do something. Did you find me through Zen's Discord?
yeah.
Okay. Um, so have you? Is this your first time getting coached or?
Uh, no, I got a free coach one time,
Mm-hmm.
like 3, 4 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
Um, I had that.
But like how did it go?
Uh, it went all right. A lot of the stuff like I already knew. I
Mm-hmm.
just obviously, like everything he said, like I pretty much already knew. I just struggled to implement, what he was saying.
Okay. Uh, so like, what are the struggles that you're going through right now? Like, I've like you told me you just started playing. Oh, like you didn't just start, but like you start or like you're still relatively new to the game.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
okay. So is it?
my struggles. Man, like I just don't know. Like during the landing phase, I just struggle knowing like exactly what to do. I don't know when to follow. You know, the enemy laner when he's roaming. Like I feel like every game I like do relatively decently for my lane, but then every other it's like I don't know how to contribute my lead and spread it throughout the map. I don't know how I don't know how to like snowball the game to help my teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like a one-dimensional player. I feel like I just play for myself, but it
Uh,
just doesn't seem to work.
okay. So basically, well, I mean that's basically what a lot of new players usually say. Like,
Um,
they're unknown. Well, like they don't know what to do in some games, and even with their leads, when their teammates are hard losing or like not doing well enough, they have no clue if they should roam or they should stay in lane or how to play the game,
yeah.
etc. etc. Um, so I think it's normal. We'll just look through the VOD to see, cause what I usually whenever whenever players from Iron, Silver, Bronze, or even Gold get coaches, I usually just think like it's probably because you don't play the game enough.
Yeah.
Um, you have like 31 games, like rank alone, 31 games on one account, and then on the other you have like 12 games. So like you probably don't play enough to actually
Yeah.
climb and to actually improve at the game. Um, you said like you just started ranking this year, right?
Yeah. Well, I played like for like a month before last season ended. Then
Mhm.
I really I started playing this year more like on my days off and all that.
Mhm. Um
So yeah.
yeah, I mean yeah, no, that's the thing. Like it's I mean the general advice is, oh, you should play more, then you'll climb. But
Mm,
everyone tells you that, right? So like that's like I don't need to like um I don't even I shouldn't be the one to tell you that even more. But
yeah.
I'm gonna get through the more specific things so you can actually
Uh-huh.
learn, because like you can probably
Okay.
find a lot of online stuff for free, saying like, oh, you can probably do A or B or X and Y, um,
Uh-huh.
play X or B, play whatever to climb. But I think whenever you look for, or like whenever low elo players look for coaching,
Uh-huh.
generally they should be the coaches that they find should actually give them more specific and clear cut answers rather than just the general advice, because general advice
Yeah.
you can find everyone on the internet. um
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm just gonna go through, because I feel like uh okay, because I feel like let me just share the screen. I feel
All
like
right.
what's probably I'm gonna look at is probably just the laning phase and like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a bit of out of lane. Because I'm pretty sure the things that you're missing out is the fundamentals, so like CSing, trading, warding,
Yeah.
usage of abilities, yeah, set trading, when you should roam, when you shouldn't be roaming, how you team fight, blah blah blah. So these are like the first wall of obstacles when it comes to a low elo player trying to climb. What is your goal? Like what do you want to do with this?
Um.
Because you said like you wanted like a few couple of sessions, right? Like so
Uh-huh.
what's the end goal? Like what do you want at the end of like 3 sessions maybe?
I just wanna. I don't know how to. I don't personally like being low elo. I feel like obviously if I was better I'd be higher elo, but like
Mhm.
I feel like I know I have what it takes. Like I know I'm not like set back through like a mental block or something like that. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but
Mhm.
at the end I want to climb. I'd like to be maybe diamonds probably stretching it, but I'd like to maybe get up there someday.
Uh-huh.
Cause I feel like I'm somewhat. I don't want to say I'm good because I'm not good. I'm horrible. But like
Uh-huh.
for being in this elo, I just feel like I play better than most. So I just feel like I have potential to climb higher than
Mhm.
I don't know, good amount of people. But
Okay.
that's like
Yeah, yeah, no,
it's
I
hard
get
to
I get what you're
explain
trying to
the
say.
way
You basically just want to get better at the game. Like you don't like where you are right now. You feel like
yeah, no,
you could probably play way better if you have like if you put in some effort.
yeah,
I think diamond is a bit stretching it. I feel like right
yeah,
now where you are, I think you should aim for like maybe silver one, then gold three or
yeah,
gold two.
mm,
Try to blend in solo queue and get the hang of it first. Because I'm pretty sure like do you watch any like pro plays or do you watch any, like do you follow up with the trends or like the meta or do you
oh
just play the
yeah,
game?
no, no. I watch. I got like the Chinese app on my phone. Whatever it's called, Douyu or whatever, and I
Uh
watch
huh.
like a lot of Korean mid laners.
Oh okay.
I watch a lot of pro players. So like
Okay. That,
I definitely watch a good amount of League of Legends. I
okay
watch a lot
okay.
of pro play too.
That's good. I think watching pro play and pro players definitely will definitely help, but try not to be too invested in it. I think playing more yields more benefit than watching. At least when you're low elo, because I feel like when you're high
Yeah,
elo, the margin for error is much smaller
yeah.
than in low elo. Okay. I'm gonna go straight into the game. And then we'll just be looking at laning phase. I don't know why
Okay.
the let's see. Oh my goodness, what the fuck? Here it is. Okay. And then we'll try to analyze like what's wrong, or like
All right.
what we can work on.
Yeah.
I'll put it at time 2 speed. If you have like any questions, you can just feel free to ask.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why my taskbar is so weird.
Yeah, it's all right.
Shit. Okay. So, have you played this matchup? Holy shit! Are you spamming F keys? Like when you
I sometimes in the beginning. See, this is my problem. Like I'll start to do something in the beginning.
yeah like
Like I'll
this.
watch my play. Like I just watch to make sure, see what's going on, and
Uh
then
huh.
like five 5 minutes into the game, I'll just stop. Yeah, like I'll let you like you'll probably never see me do that again this whole game. Maybe a couple times.
Uh huh.
That's like another problem I have. Like I'll start to do something, like and I'll practice doing it. And then like halfway through the match, I'll just like totally forget about it. Never do it again.
Uh huh.
It's kind of like a bad habit.
It's I thing is like that those kind of habits are like weird because like why would you do it though? I mean I get like if you were in like like in a team or like not in a team fight but like laning phase something's happening on the map or like not even something on the map but when you have free time in laning phase and then you do like your F keys and then that's fine but like
Yeah.
in the early game like I don't know like do you are you doing that out of randomness or like
Well, no, I do that in the beginning because I don't know. There's been games where I've had where the team will like straight up bum rush our red buff, and my team will just all of a sudden just die, and then I'll get question marked or spam pinned because I didn't show up. So I don't know. It's
uh
just more of me
I mean,
checking
in
to
that
make
case,
sure that
you can just walk into like at the start of the game, you can just walk into your side bushes at like 122 to like 125, and then just be a champion ward.
yeah.
And if you want like some deep boards in, you can probably stand on top here at a 122 to 125, and then move in for a ward at around these times. and you should be fine. And like most of the time, level 1 fights should generally never happen. And if they do, like even if your teammates die, it's generally not your fault
Yeah.
most of the time. Um, it's just weird. Like those kind of random encounters are based on so many variables that it's really hard to talk about, and it'll take way too much time to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your process here when you're level 1?
Um, to try to get level 2 before
Okay.
enemy laner.
Okay, so let's see. So you move in the lane on your red side. That's good. You can poke. You can do this. This is all fine. Right here. What do you think you can do instead of being here?
I could probably walk up.
Yes. Yes, but okay. So look at this, right? So what's your next move, right? You want to farm this CS, right?
Yes.
This is the CS that you want to farm. What do you think Akali's next move is?
Probably farm that.
Yeah, like
Go for that.
here and here,
Yeah.
right? So she wants to take this and maybe this, and then you want to take this. So if you look at the map, okay, if you look at the lane, if you stand here, there's no difference from standing here. The only difference is that if she tries to go for this, you can poke her.
Okay.
You can poke her for free. If you stand here, you can't really do it because if standing here, you can also take this CS. But this gives you the option of trying of poking her if you wish. If you poke her, try not to like go for extended poke because these 3 minions will try to hit you back. You can only go for poke if she's um in a few conditions. One, she's not able to poke you back, and also once she's not able to poke you back, and also don't try to extend the trade because these minions will hurt more than her returning fire. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Just play right here. You can do that. Like right there when she's trying to like Q the wave, you can also walk up for for AAQA to get electrocute. Because when she's like having the animation of throwing her daggers
Yeah.
or whatever, she's stuck in that animation. She can't really trade back with you because she doesn't. Akali doesn't have enough energy at level 1 to actually throw out 2 kills ever since the nerf. So whenever she's going for like this is the fundamental of like, okay, when she's trying to go for CS, and this works much better in low elo because a lot of low elo players don't respect this kind of stuff where they will try to go for CS and then they don't get punished because the opposing laner doesn't have this knowledge to like, oh, you're going for CS, I'm just gonna let you have it, I'm not gonna contest for it. So this is one thing you should definitely do, especially in a melee versus range matchup.
Yeah.
This is something that you need to punish because otherwise, like, it'll be no difference like if she's playing something like a range.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
There's also like arguments where like, oh, should I be pushing the lane? Should I not be pushing the lane? I think generally in a range versus melee matchup, it's better if you let her push the lane and then you try to freeze it. You try to freeze it around here because that way, the lane doesn't become a long lane for her. So let's say if you're playing Annie and she's the enemy laner is something like a Fizz, Aurelia, Akali, right? If you try to push it in, if you try to push it in, and then you don't get the push completely into a turret, it won't bounce back. What happens is that it will freeze right here, and then guess what happens next?
Um,
If it
she goes
freezes right here, yeah.
I probably get ganked if the junglers sees that.
You will get ganked, and also because it's a long lane, if she tries to trade with you, she's gonna win the trade, because she can chase you down.
Yeah. Okay.
Because when it's a long lane, she can just try to fight you all the way to your own turret. I'm
So
I
should I question? Should I like?
Mhm.
Does that go for any melee matchup pretty much?
Most melee matchups, so if you're on champions, so most of the time, when you're against like melee matchups, and you're on champions that doesn't have a good early pushing power. Things like maybe not Annie, because Annie has W on her level 2. If you don't have like early pushing power, try to use your wave instead to push. So what I would generally do is try to, on the first wave where like 6 minions comes to, on the first wave, I would try to kill 3 of them, and then I will have 6 minions, and I would try to slow push the wave. And then at wave 3, or at wave 3, when the third wave comes and crashes, I will try to hard push. So then it'll push back to me. And then it shouldn't freeze if you do it right.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. So right now, you don't have to walk back here because you're gonna hit level 2 anyways, and then you can just try to go for a hard trade here. This is fine. You can keep walking up as well. You don't really have to back up at all. Like right there, when you take this CS, what do you think you should have done?
When I took
Yeah, like
one
this one that
at
gives you
level
level
2?
2. Yeah, like look at where she is. The minions
Yeah.
right here. Where do you think
I
you should
probably
be?
pretty much like right underneath where your cursor is, probably.
Yeah, right here, right here, right here. These are all fine. I think being here is much better because you have a ward bot side. You don't have a ward top side, so it's easy. It's much better for you to play bot side pocket. You know why, right?
Because
Because
my jungler's there and he could help me if enemy jungler came from like the top side.
yep, and also because you have a ward. So even if
Yeah.
if the enemy jungler comes from bot side, you will be able to spot him or her out.
Yeah.
Okay, like when you're level 2, always walk up to punish if she's still level 1 and she wants to CS. Because when you're level 2, you have much better stats. You should always look for these kind of punishes, and she should never be able to actually auto attack anything at all. Okay, like right here, okay. When she postures like this, I'm pretty sure she's still level 1. It means like a few things. Either you're getting level 2 ganked, or she's inting. Like she's inting really hard. So let's see what happens. Okay, like right here, when she does that, go for a trade. You're pretty in a safe spot because if you measure the line, you're still around bot side pocket.
Yeah.
So if you try to trade here when she's right here, you always win the trade. Plus she's just used the Q, so she doesn't have a Q up by the time you trade with her. So these are like managing cooldowns. It works with like any champion, Orianna, Zed, what's like the popular, like Cassiopeia, Azir, maybe.
Yeah.
Like whenever they use their key spells, Q on Cassiopeia, Zed Q, Fizz E, always look to punish if you can, if you're allowed to.
Yeah.
What I mean by allowed to, you have wards to play around. You're not overextended. Those are the times when you're allowed to trade back.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely something I struggle with, is like knowing how strong they are opposed to me.
Yep. I think this is a fine trade. Although what I would do here instead, because you have electrocute. So right here, when you have stun, okay, yeah, she does this whole thing. You can probably do it like when you're level 1 as well, to stun her. Right here, what I would have done instead, Q, but I would throw on AA before I W.
Oh, okay.
Because my W would
auto
cancel.
attack.
Yeah, it would cancel your auto attack, and then you would proc electrocute, and then you would always win the trade. I think this is fine. This is really fine. Because your minions are still around, so your minions will try to hit her for like at least a moment. So right here, when the third wave comes, what do you think you should do? Right here.
It's pretty much frozen for her, right?
It can be frozen if she knows how to freeze it.
I feel like I probably should shove it. Just get as much damage onto the wave as much as possible. Or,
Okay.
is that the wrong thing to do?
That's right. But before that, look at your trinket. Right, you have a trinket here, and this one's probably gonna expire soon. One thing you can try to, because the reason why I point out the trinket here is because like you could get ganked from this side. And because this one's gonna expire soon, this was like your bot side's gonna be blind as well. So what you could do, like a couple of things you could do is like, okay, early game, at level 1, try to know where the enemy jungler started. Did he start top side? Did she start bot side or whatever?
Mhm.
So let's say in this case, I'm pretty sure like they started bot side because usually like they would just start at where their bot side is. They start bot side. They are going to their red. Like one thing you could also do is like check where your jungler is. By the time like where your jungler is where the enemy jungler should be. It's kind of like a mirror thing. In like most like 80% of low junglers should be like this. When this happens, before you push in this wave, try to at least get a ward on top side, so you can try to at least play around a pocket where you're safe.
Where should I put the ward? Should I put it in the grass, or like usually I'll put it like above the like the right little wall. I'll put it like at the top of the right wall.
You can put it. How do I do this? You can put it around. So when you want to put a ward around this side, you can either put it here, or you can put it here, or well, not here, but like right about here.
Okay. So putting it in the grass is just like a waste.
Yeah, put it most of the time. Like both these wards do the same thing. They're trying to protect you from this entrance, but this one allows you to see much more. And then sometimes you can put a pink here or pink here. Here for like clarity, you can put like a pink here and pink here. But if you want to like put like yellow trinkets should be here or here.
Okay.
If you want a defensive bot side vision, you can put it here as well. This is fine. This is to protect your raptors. This one is to see if they're doing raptors or they're pathing towards their crooks. Okay. These are usually the wards that you can place on. Like alternatively, there are times where you can put like a pink here, you can put like a pink here, and then you can put like opposite side pinks. But most of the time, this is sufficient, and this is really sufficient. The only times where you put like pinks here or like pinks here is when you're afraid like your pink's gonna get spotted, and then they'll get killed way too fast. But most of the time, usually like these two wards does almost the same thing. It's just that like the pink ward here or like the control ward here provides much more vision compared to this one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense.
Okay. Go back. So right here, get a ward down so you can push safely. If you don't, then you might get ganked. But right here, there's also another mistake that you did. Do you know what you did? Like right about here.
No, I don't.
Okay, remember what I talked about when you so this is like this is kind of exclusive to Annie. You know what Annie's passive is, right?
Yeah, it's done.
So it's a stun, right? So and it's visible for you and the enemy champion. One thing you can do is whenever you have like three stacks, preferably three. 4 is fine too. 4 is much more visible, so there's no element of surprise there. But whenever you have 3 or 4 stacks, try to like threaten that you're gonna go for a trade. Because whenever you hit the enemy mid laner with a stun, you like 90% of the time you should win the trade because they're stunned, and then you have electrocute. So what you should do here, instead of wasting a Q on this minion that you can kill with your auto attack anyways, is walk up and try to punish her for hitting this right here. Because when you do this, she gets chunked super hard. Because she's stunned. She can't really retaliate at all. The only problem right now is again the ward. The problem with warding. Because right now your bot side is blind, like I said, and you don't have any vision to move up. So it's a bit hard for you. But if you do, this is what you should be doing. These are the small things, like these small fundamentals where you can push small leads into bigger ones. Okay. So right here, try to push it in. If you don't, like this happens. But this is fine. This is okay for you because what's her name? Akali didn't follow up for some reason. Although Akali should have followed up.
Yeah, I definitely should have died there, at least use my flash.
This is also weird pathing for you, cause like, well, it's not really weird pathing for you, but like, had you had like stand top side instead of moving bot side more, cause even Akali's like not actually like, I feel like Akali's like really bad here because she's not trying to mirror you onto the other side. So what I mean by that is like if she's standing here, your brain or like you will be conditioned to stand here, because if you stand here instead, then both of you start fighting. It's like fighting fishes. Like I don't know if you heard of the species. Like, but if you put like two type of this one fish in the same pocket, they'll start fighting. So usually in mid lane, if one mid laner stands on one side, the other one will stand on the other side, so that they don't want to trade. When they want to trade, both of them usually stand on one side of the pocket. The reason why I said Akali is bad is that because she's standing here, it makes it looks like Volibear might come from here instead of this side. So when you started to rotate bot side, you actually like, of course, like you can also argue that you have no ward, so you never know.
Yeah.
But like I'm saying in terms like if you had a ward, or like you shouldn't randomly just path bot side for no reason.
Yeah. That's true.
Again, try to put
Any
wards.
little player would have.
Yeah, you would have punished you really hard.
Yeah. Or they would be standing on that side to like fake it to make me think that they.
Yeah, so if I was their Akali, I would be standing here. I would try to stand here and I'll walk up to make you walk downside.
Yeah.
Instead, I think she's just like wiggling around just to get the CS. Yeah. So she's not as good. So right here, this happens. Like she could just E towards you, Q smoke, and then you might have to burn flash.
Yeah.
But I feel like she. Yeah, this is a good opportunity for the gank for you. You lose out a cannon. Because if she's doing it, like, if the argument is like, oh, she didn't want to follow up the gank because like there's a lot of minions, well, the minions are about to die anyways, and also if the other argument is like she doesn't want to follow up with a gank because she wants to freeze the wave, the wave is kind of frozen but not really, so she can't really freeze it properly because there's not enough minions to actually hold the freeze, and also she messed up by hitting her Q onto the wave just now, so she can't actually freeze it. So this happens like right now. You're just kind of ping ponging the lane. What I mean by ping ponging the lane is like you're letting her CS for free. She's letting you CS for free. Oh, what the fuck? You just burned 2 pots? What? When did you burn 2 pots? Oh, you have 2 here. Okay. You don't have to burn the pot here. Definitely not. Like you're still
I should have saved it.
Yeah, like you're still like you're like 90 to like 95% health right now. There's no reason to burn the pot. She's like 60%, which is fine to burn the pot. But like when you're this healthy, when like usually when you're above 70 to 80% health, you should be fine. Unless you're against junglers that are very aggressive early game. So like things like Rek'Sai, Lee Sin, Xing, Xing Zhao, what else? Graves maybe, kinda. So you want like much more HP to actually defend yourself, so you can play much more upper in the lane. So when they do come and gank you, you have enough HP to run away. But in this kind of situations, you really don't have to burn the pot here. Cause like I was thinking like if you got ganked, then maybe you need to burn the pot, but then you would still have 1 pot. So it's weird that like suddenly like you don't have any pots left. So again, you get ganked here, you burn the pot, that's fine. You should generally have another pot right now.
Yeah, that's true.
This now you're put in a much in a less favorable position, because right now Kali has a pot, and if Kali tries to trade view, she wins because she can sustain slightly better in lane because she still has another pot here. Right here, what do you think you're doing right?
What do I think I'm doing right?
Yeah, what do you think like in this freeze frame right here? What do you think you're doing right?
I don't know. Doesn't seem like I'm doing anything right now. I feel like this early game, like
I think you just got. I mean, although you're in low, I think you can give yourself some credit. What you are doing kind of right. Okay, remember where Volibear came and where did Volibear go?
Went topside.
So you went topside, right? So where do you want to stand?
The right pocket.
Yeah, right. So you want to stand on the right pocket, bot side pocket. So even if he comes from top side, you can just move towards bot side.
Yeah.
So this is also another basics like common basics that you should know is that whenever a jungler comes to gank your lane and he or she walks away from another side, stand on where the opposite side where he left. So if he went top side or if she went top side, stand on bot side and vice versa. So there's one thing you can do. Um, Also, I should mention whenever you're just trying to learn the game, look at mid lane as like a so there's multiple names for it. What I've been told is like the waffle theory, where like you look at mid lane as like some kind of a waffle. Uh, and basically these are pockets where you can stand. Um, So let's say when you have flash up, sometimes you can move up aggressively. Or some people call it like the checkers or like chessboard or whatever. But for comedic purposes, I just call it the waffle theory or whatever. So if you have flash, or if you're allowed to play aggressive, you can walk, in much more higher pockets. So you can put a lot of pressure in lane. But if you're forced to play safe, then you have to play around these pockets. Um, like these are generally the safer pockets. These are generally the danger zone that you shouldn't be in, and the middle line is the neutral pocket. Um, so when you're climbing or like when you're trying to learn mid lane, always look at these pockets to know like, oh, okay, Volibear just walk up. I can play around this side of the pocket and I should be fine. I can walk around here. Some pockets will definitely be much more beneficial. So like let's say in this situation, you can like play around this side here and this should be fine. Oh, this support. Wait, do you die here? Oh wow, you actually die here. But yeah, like you can play like around some pockets that are much more beneficial to allow you to trade when the enemy can't trade with you. Let's see how you actually died there. Okay. Okay, you did one thing wrong here. Do you know what you did wrong?
I used
So
my stun on the
yes,
creep. I should have used it
yes,
on Akali.
yep. That's one mistake. And also look at here, right? You are burning cooldown for no reason. You are burning your E for no reason. You're trying to charge a stack here, but you're at 0 stacks. So even if you charge 1 stack here, uh, and even if you burn the other 2, you just have 3 stacks. So even if you walk up now, you still won't have your stun stack up.
So it's not efficient to use E like this
It's
early.
it's
This
yeah,
early
it's
on.
not efficient to use E for no reason at all.
Yeah.
At all. Like right here, like what are you using E for? Even like to charge a stack, like
Stacks. Yeah.
yeah,
That's literally it.
it's kind of pointless to use your E to charge a stack because this is E is kind of like your second escape tool. Your first escape tool is basically having a stun up, and if they try to gank you, you can stun them. When you have like your E and your passive down, try to never walk up. Like try to never walk up if you should be walking up. That's what I meant to say. In this kind of scenario, look at this, right? So you use your E, you have no stun, and then Akali notices this. She tries to go for a trade, and she always wins this trade because you don't have you don't have your cooldowns up. Um, and also Akali is kind of good early in or like Akali kind of has pretty good laning kill pressure if she lends all her abilities. So this is also a really poor flash. If you wanted to flash the initial E or Q.
Yeah.
So you wish to flash here, and then you die. So that is the basic of like trying to know your cooldowns, trying to understand your abilities and your passive. And when you waste it, you get punished for this. This is a good example of like of getting punished because you use your abilities. What did Akali did wrong here?
What did she do wrong?
Yep. It has something to do with this wave.
She didn't. I feel like she should have pushed away then backed.
Why?
Right? Because now she has a chance to, lose my minion that's pushing to her, and I can get hers for free. and
Oh,
she'll just miss out on a bunch of CS and XP that she probably didn't need to miss out on any.
yeah, that's actually pretty accurate. What Akali did wrong is, she killed you. But she wasn't able. Well, there's multiple reasons why she isn't able to push in. Akali generally has doesn't really have the best pushing level 1, or like early levels. But she's not the worst at it, so she can actually just try to stay in lane and try to push this in. Right now, what happens is because Akali left the lane in this kind of lane state.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think if you can try to freeze this here? Let the minions kill your minions. So let all these minions kill this, and try to hold the wave around here. Try to hold it here, and then now you're denying her one cannon wave. Which is about like so 60, 20, 20, about 100, 150 gold, more or less. And then and experience too. This is really good. Especially when you're trying to look for your for personal leads. So even though you die, the lane is still favorable for you at this point, like right now, because the wave is kind of stuck here. So worst case scenario, she's probably gonna lose like 1.5 or 2 waves,
Yeah.
which is really good for you because now you're gonna get level leads. Okay, so this happens. What you should do here is just try to last hit, which is fine. You don't have to walk up here. You can just walk backwards because you don't want the minions to randomly attack you. If they randomly attack you, they're not wasting their auto attacks onto the minions. It's fine. Just one small thing. It's always good to put a ward down if you can. Try to not have 2 stacks up, because you're wasting free vision. Okay, this is fine. This is really good. Just try to hold a freeze here, because now she just lost 2 waves.
Yeah.
Right here, yeah, you can just try to pull it up if you want to. You could also like try to pull it up a bit earlier, like right here when it starts to like starts to commit Sudoku. You can try to walk up. It's some minions are really weird. Like sometimes they just randomly commit Sudoku and uh they do this kind of stuff. Hence why like it's better if you can as freeze slightly further from the turret, because I know like some players like they try to freeze it here.
Yeah.
But it's not the best spot because again sometimes this kind of random thing happens. And so it's just much better to try to keep the minions here. Maybe the minions like when they hit here they become depressed or whatever, and like right here they have like a shit ton of dopamine or whatever. But yeah, it's really weird like when minions randomly just go in the tower for no reason when like there's literally a bunch of minions right here.
Yeah.
The best scenario to freeze is generally right here, or even here if you can, if you can. But yeah, so this happens. She comes back to wave. It's still fine, but again because she lost 2 waves in total. So right now she pushes it back, and now it's gonna push back towards her. Uh, yeah, this ping is good. I was gonna say like you should ping your team whenever your mid laner goes missing. Just to warn your team a bit.
Yeah. I try to do that. As soon as they leave, I just ping. No
Mhm.
matter even if they're gone for a second.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, this is fine. This trade is okay. After, well, this is kind of unlucky that it kind of like snitched you, because ideally whenever you use ability, try to walk backwards because you don't have ability to trade back. You know what I mean by that, right?
Wait. Repeat it one more time.
So ideally, whenever you go for like a trade, so let's say if you're a champion that has like a CC start trade, so something like when you hit them and then they get stunned or charmed or knocked up, whatever, and they can't retaliate. After you're done trading, you should move backwards. The reason for this is that after you're done trading, they can fight you back, and you don't want that to happen. So this is kind of an example of like,
Auto attacks.
huh?
I said yeah, because I got nothing. Then but auto attacks. So.
Yeah, yeah. Right now you literally have nothing but all attacks, but like because again Akali has a pretty strong passive for trading. So like after you use your abilities to trade right here, try to move backwards behind your minion so she can't actually trade with you at all. Because right now she kind of wins the trade, or like she kind of wins the trade because she got her E onto you, she gets her passive, she gets her Q, and then you lose the trade because you can't trade back now.
Yeah.
Right. So this happens. You can burn pots. That's fine. So it's slowly pushing. Slowly pushing. You can just let it slow push. You can help this if you can. If you can't, you can just back off. These are all fine. Like right here, you
I
can't
did
do
mess
anything.
up here.
Yeah, you can't do anything.
Well,
What's that?
Jax, after you question marked me or something, and
Uh-huh.
he said I could have walked closer to him so he could have eat onto me or what. I don't
Oh.
know what ability.
Oh,
Where
the
he can like jump
leap
to
strike.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, that could work.
but I don't even think it would have been possible. I think he would have
I honestly
down
thought
there.
that was a fiddlesticks. I don't know, maybe I'm fucking blind. But yeah, you could do that. You could also even like put a ward for him to jump
Yeah,
if you want to. Uh, but
he
yeah,
might have had a ward himself. I don't know. He
yeah,
did
that
blame me, and then I just muted him afterwards. I didn't even want to hear it.
yeah, that's generally what you can do. Right here, you can walk to your team because your Leona is around, so you can actually just
Yeah.
walk to help out your team out. Because you are closer than the enemy. You are closer than to the Volibear than the enemy Akali. So if you roam now, you can actually try to. What the fuck happened? Okay, Leona is low. They try to fight it. Twitch is top. Twitch is mid. Yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you can go for this. This would still be fine.
I should have went down there and helped
You
him.
can win. You can go down for this because it's like um. So it's not the best idea to walk down because Akali. Well, no, you actually have like I'm pretty sure you and Akali are still kind of the same level because you
Yeah.
only lost one wave, but she lost like 2 waves, so you should be in the same level range as her. So if you walk down, I'm not sure how much health Volibear has. I'm not sure how strong your bot lane is.
Volibear was pretty strong at this point. I'm like 95% sure he was pretty damn strong.
Let's
So
see. But yeah, I can't
after
really
the
see
fight ended,
the only general analysis right here is that okay, you can try to walk down to try to help. But the only bad thing is that if Akali hits 6 before you, then you shouldn't go
yeah,
because you would not have the ult to actually fight the skirmish here.
yeah,
So that would have been bad. But if you were 6 or like if both of you were 5 and you were closer, you should go. You should try to help your team. And also, if your lane state isn't in a bad spot, because right here, your lane state is pretty good. It's not a big enough wave for you to miss. That affects you too much. So helping here would have been okay. It wouldn't be too bad. I'm pretty sure, like, yeah, you could just go early. Yeah, because like I'm pretty sure Leona tries to engage with QER or like EQW. And then Kaylin could have just trapped, and then you could have just go for a stun, ignite, and Volibear might have just died. But that's just that. Like these are just variables that's not consistent every game. Um, you have any? Do you have any questions? So right there, you could have auto once as well just to proc your electrocute. I'm pretty sure you barely proc your electrocute at all this game. In this laning phase. Do you have any questions? Hello? Hello? Oh. Oh. Did you
Yo, can
disconnect?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. My mic, I don't know. I just unplugged it and plugged it back in. Something just
Okay.
stopped working for some reason. But do I have any questions?
Yeah. So far.
Not really. I was gonna ask you earlier, like when she did kill me and I went back. The items I bought was that okay?
This is fine.
Like, should I have bought anything No.
This is fine. Like starting earlier phase, laning phase. If you're forced to go back early, Dark
Hmm.
Seal is fine. Dark Seal with pots is never a bad option.
Okay. Do you
Just
think
for
there's
laning.
a
Hmm.
Do you think there's like a different rune set? You know, the different set of runes I could go for
In this
on
matchup
Annie.
on Annie.
Just like on
Uh,
Annie as a whole.
well, I don't know what you mean as a whole, but like if you're
Hmm.
talking about like in this matchup, you could go if you're having like a hard time dealing with Kali, you could go for resolve. I'm not sure what you went for
Okay.
secondary. Um,
Uh, Transcendence, Mana Flow Band.
um,
That's usually just what I go every game, honestly.
so one thing to keep note is that Annie doesn't really have issues with cooldown or mana,
Hmm.
generally, especially if you know how to queue, queue to refund your mana. And
Yeah.
also if even if you have issues with mana, you can also get Lost Chapter. Like Annie isn't
Yeah.
one of those really extremely mana hungry champions, so having mana full ban doesn't help her too much. And also Annie doesn't really need 30. Oh well, the 10% cooldown is nice, but I feel like Annie uh, doesn't necessarily need 10% from the rune. I feel like it's probably much better if even if you want to go for sorcery tree, you can you can rotate between either mana flow ban
Hmm.
or transcendence and gathering storm. I think gathering storm can proves to be much more efficient. Or
Yeah.
if you're if you want to play like an extremely early and aggressive route, you can
Hmm.
go for scorch. I think scorch is not too bad.
Okay. So
Uh,
sometimes, like I have a second rune page setup where I go electrocute, then secondary is Gathering Storm and Celerity, I believe, like for the extra movement speed.
Celerity. Celerity. Celerity is it. I don't think it's too efficient on Annie.
Hmm.
Cause I feel like your E movement speed is already enough movement speed for you to walk up.
Yeah.
I think some Annie players also like going for spellbinder, so they can move up faster.
Yeah.
And also spellbinder also gives like movement speed. So I don't think celerity is that good of an option. Like if I had to choose between celerity, transcendence, and what's the third one? The one
Mana
that
Flow.
gives you like a flat AP or AD when you're above 70%. That rune. If I had to
Uh huh.
choose, I would choose the third one instead.
Okay.
If I really had to choose, I would
Yeah.
choose the third one and either Scorch or Gathering Storm.
Okay.
If you're going for a sorcery tree, just so I have it, I have a bigger kick to my traits and all out damage.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolute Focus. Is that
yeah,
the
absolute
one you're
focus.
talking
Yes,
about? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, right. So I would go for like absolute focus, Scorch or Gathering Storm. Scorch and absolute focus are like your early aggressive best friends.
Okay.
Um, they're like runes that makes you win harder if you're already winning. And then like again, if you're having a really hard time, you can alternatively you can go for the resolve tree and go for bone plating and overgrowth.
Okay.
Those are okay as well. And then if you're in a very neutral lane, going for free boots and biscuits aren't as bad as well, or extra cooldown.
Okay.
Those
Makes sense.
aren't bad as well. Uh, So that's just for the runes. Okay. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but like I'm pretty sure like right here you can't really help. Like you might have been able to help your teammates, but that didn't
Hmm.
happen. So
It just
so
didn't seem helpable. So I don't know.
yeah, like in those kind of situations, you really need to like look like you like those kind of situations are the situations where you need to use your F keys and
Yeah.
instantly try to um deduct the situation and think of what you need
Hmm.
to do. Um, so like let's say if you F keys and see like something's happening on the map, just instantly like okay can I go, can I not go, if I go what do I do, if I don't go I what can I do. So if you don't go, maybe you can stay in lane and try to push the lane and get your own leads. If you do go, make it snappy, like make it fast,
Yeah.
because you don't want to roam too long from your own lane, because then you'll be losing a lot of CS and EXP. Alright, so right here, you just push the lane. She can't really do too much. So right here, the reason why you know why she didn't go in, right?
Um, honestly, I don't know. I think maybe she. Honestly, I don't know.
I mean,
I really have no clue why she didn't go
right
in.
here, right?
Yeah, I
See
mean, I did
this?
have more health than her.
Yeah, but like, look at your
Oh my stun's up.
right. Your stun's up. If she goes in, she's gonna
Dead.
she's griefing. She's heart in the thing if she goes in. So she's kind of respecting you on that one. Just wise of her. So right now, just try to auto. So look at this wave, right?
Yeah.
Do you need to use your spells here?
Uh,
Why? Why no?
because I could. My stun's up for one, and I could
Mhm.
probably just auto attack.
Right.
The wave.
Yep. And look at your wave, right? It's much bigger. It's much more healthier than
Yeah.
the red minions here. So you don't have to waste your spells to actually push in the wave because the wave is already is gonna guarantee a push anyways.
Yeah.
So just use your spells, push after this wave. And also like look at the next wave, right? The next wave is also pretty close. Ideally, you want to stack up 2 waves and then start pushing, because then
Okay.
the stack waves will push really fast into her turret.
Yeah.
When it's pushed in, you can go put in wards. You can look for rooms.
Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes I like the auto attacking Annie. That's like the only thing I don't like about her. Is like I don't know, they're just so slow.
Okay, this is really good.
I
What do you
miss
mean,
that
like auto attack?
CS.
I mean that's
Her auto attacks. I don't know.
auto
I just
attack to
miss a lot of
farm.
CS.
Oh, auto attack to
Yeah.
CS. Yeah, like well, that just comes with experience. Yeah, like if you're having a hard time, you could go for the adaptive rune. Like
Yeah.
there's the attack damage. There's
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
You can go for attack speed.
Okay. Yeah.
If
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, so it kind of helps out with like the 9%. I think it's 9% attack speed. Kind of helps with CSing if you're having a hard
Yeah.
time. But generally speaking, usually like champions that has like a slow wind up attack animation, things like Anivia, things like Karthus, things like um Annie, it usually just comes with experience.
Yeah.
Okay. So right here, this is a really good Q. This is a really good all in for Mew. Yeah, you already get the full combo out. You get to kill her, and then you burn. Yeah, you get to kill her. You push the wave in. So this is really good from you. Right now you reset. Although, what do you think you can do one here? Like one thing that you could have done. One extra thing that you could have done.
Probably ward.
Yeah, just put a ward.
Yeah.
I don't think you put a ward down at all
I
this
honestly,
game.
yeah, I haven't. Later in the game, I put a few down, but like I don't know. I definitely don't put as much wards down or more than I.
When you're walking back to lane, you can E back to lane because E gives you movement speed. Okay, right now, just try to wait for your whenever she goes missing, ping, farm as well as you can, and then try to punish whenever she. So you need to be a bit more careful whenever you're against an assassin that has her ult. But in this scenario, because both of you don't have ults, you can go for a slight a small trade here because she can't really threaten to kill you. And also your range. So you have a better range on her. So let's say if she walks up like this to Q or auto attack, remember always punish. Always punish. Look for opportunities to punish.
Like using my Q, like no matter what, it just obviously if like I'm low on mana, but you mean like every time she goes in to take a minion, whether it be an auto attack or a Q, just always just get something off.
You have think of it. I can't think of it this way. Do you play any sports?
I played hockey for like 8 years.
I'm not too familiar with hockey, but like let's say you're trying to go for a strike into the goal, right? Like someone's gonna try to defend against you. So think about this way. Like you're trying to contest for the guy to actually like this is like the net or whatever, and then like when he tries to shoot, and you have to walk up to like say, hey, fuck you, I'm not gonna let you go in for free.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the logic for it. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are things you can do, and again, like this is fine to do because she doesn't have lethal like she doesn't threaten to kill you here. the worst case scenario is somehow Volibear is here, and like he runs it with Q, flashes onto you, and then you die. But like that's like the worst case scenario. You to and also to if you want to prevent that, just put a ward here, and then you're absolutely safe because you already have a ward around here.
Yep.
So always contest for minions if you're allowed to. Like any chip damage is good, especially if you're playing things that has good poke, and your all in is always a deadly lethal. So this is really good from you. Do you know why this is really good from you? This
I'm slow. It's a pretty big wave. It's like too big to, if I tried freezing, I'd take a lot of damage. So I'd just been, or I was just slow pushing to get rid of a few creeps.
no, because okay, this is really good from you. This is really good for you because look at this wave, right? It's really big. That's one thing you're right. Okay, it's really big. Where does Akali need to be if she wants to farm this wave here?
Super close to my.
Right, she has to.
Further, closer to me than closer to my turret than her turret. Her turret.
Right, she has to walk up around here. Right, Akali has to be around here if she wants to actually farm this wave. So it's dangerous for her to actually walk up, especially if she has no escapes. Right, then it's really dangerous for her. So this is a really good spot for you because if you're holding this wave here, if she walks up, she'll die, or she has the potential to die. If she gets ganked or if she mess up. And when that happens, you're gonna freeze even harder, and she's gonna lose like 2 to 3 waves. So this is really good. These are the situations that are really good for you. Right here, there's no reason for you to actually like push back the wave. If she roams, you can follow her. Like if you're freezing and she roams, you can thin out the wave, make sure the wave perma freezes, then you can follow her. If not, then you can just perma freeze the wave anyways and ping your team to back off. Oh, look out. Nice.
Got lucky.
This is kind of a weird ward for you because you already have a ward at the pixel brush here. I mean, although it like you still know like you don't necessarily have to put it there yet. And also because you kind of knew like a fight just happened bot lane, so you really shouldn't be around bot side. I mean, these are executions. Like maybe there's also the argument of saying like, oh, you shouldn't be roaming when you don't have your your passive stacked up. It's obviously it's good that you got a 1-for-1, but it's depending on where the lane is. I can't really see. I think the lane is it should be neutral, so it's still not too bad. The only thing that could mess you up here is if somehow the RNG is bad for you and your wave starts pushing. If the RNG is good, then it'll push towards you. Another way to look at it is like since Shen was down here for so long, Auron has a lot of space to farm, and Shen loses about 2 to 3 waves. I'm not really sure how a Volibear just straight up murdered a Jax, but low elo always there's always something new to learn in low elo.
Yeah, I don't think the Jack's gonna kill the whole game.
Yeah, it's weird when you tell me a champion that has a counter that has a dodge ability gets killed by a champion that needs to hit you with auto attack. Right here you can also hold a freeze, and that's fine as well. You could try to put a ward bot side, but it's hard for you because there's a pink around this area here, so it's a bit tough. You can try to put a ward here if you want to. Though it is hard because like a Akali could be shadowing you, and then you might die from that. So I think the best route here is just to hold this wave, and then ping your bot lane to play safe. Hold this wave, and then just continue to freeze, and then just try to get level leads if you can. Right now, this is a situation where you need to be slightly passive because you don't have wards on the map, and then this kind of thing happens. Oh, I'm surprised. Oh, you got hit by a turret shot. I'm like, how do you almost kill him without
Yeah,
ult?
almost.
Yeah, you got hit by a turret shot.
Hmm.
Maybe if you like then you might have been able to kill. But again, those are just mechanics, like micro stuff. Getting this word is fine. So when you get this word, what does it tell you? Like, what information do you get when you're getting this word?
Um, just like it's not, just a little further past the grass. It's not like maybe up until the bush neck. I can't remember what it's called. Is it called the
The
tri bush?
brush. You wait, which one?
The
The
one,
banana bush?
the one.
Here?
Yeah. No, no, the one right where you're down, like right, like
Here?
pretty much in the middle.
Here? The pixel
Yeah,
brush?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, pixel brush. That's what
Uh
it's
huh.
called. Yeah. It gives me vision, like just like up until the beginning of that brush. So
Okay. I was hoping like it was kind of obvious with this whole announcement, but when you take this word and if a Kali doesn't walk up, it tells you a few things, right? It tells you that you're probably not getting ganked because why the heck would a Kali let you
oh
hit this
yeah,
for free,
yeah.
right? If a Kali is walking up, you know something's up. You know like either Volibear is coming from this side or he's coming from this side.
Yeah.
But with this announcement, it's kind of obvious. But like, let's say this is not here. This is not here.
Yeah.
Like Volibear didn't take Harrow,
Yeah.
and you're doing this, and she doesn't walk up. Volibear isn't near this perimeter. Okay,
Honestly, I didn't even notice that.
this
Like
announcement.
that came up.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was
Never
kind of
really
hoping like
seen
it
anything.
already made it obvious, but like, this are the kind of things that a coach exists,
Yeah.
so you can learn. So yeah, like when you take this word and no one tries to defend it, you know that Volibear isn't near mid lane.
Yeah.
Or near enough to mid lane to actually make a difference. So right now, after you took that ward, again, don't stay topside because Volibear just took topside, so
Yeah.
he could go for a gank for you. There, exactly, that's what happened. But I think like, kind of pity that you didn't take the Akali down. Holy shit.
I
Okay.
thought we could win that, but
No ignite. Without ignite, it's pretty hard to kill Volibear.
yeah.
Plus, Jax is really, 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 really behind.
Yeah.
Plus, you have no ult. Had Jax had was a bit like was a bit in even terms, or if you have
Mhm.
ult or ignite, maybe you could have gotten that kill. I can't see the goal here. Right here, you don't have to base on that. If you're getting GLP, it's much better to just base on 1,000 gold,
Mhm.
just to get the revolver. If you're going for a Ludens, you can just base on what's that? Blasting one, so
Yeah.
850. So right now, not much you are able to do because again, there's no wards around. So right now, you just need to be neutral and passive. Like these are the times when you aren't allowed. Well, not necessarily aren't allowed, but you can't safely be aggressive,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, because you don't have
Yeah.
wards to play around. So you're technically unallowed to actually do all this. Oh wow. Okay, Botling got a kill. That's really good. Shen TP. Shen gets denied of the TP. The stand united. After you push this wave, you can look for a roam. After you push in this wave, if you can look like bot or top to see if they need to roam. One general tip when you're roaming is that whenever you roam, look at the next wave. Look at how far is it, so you can tell yourself, okay, if it's around here, you can commit for a good roam.
Yeah.
If it's like around here, then you can't really go for roam unless it's guaranteed. Unless it's like a 80% play.
Okay.
What I mean by 80% play is that 80% of the time when you make this room, it works.
Yeah.
Um, and like like whenever you roam, try not to go for like 50-50s. Yeah, try not to go for 50-50s. 50-50s are generally bad. Like some could argue like, oh, but I always win. Then that's not a 50-50 in it,
Mhm.
right? Like if it's a 50-50 and you lose, then you're gonna get shit on like really hard.
Mhm.
Okay. So again, right now, right here, you can just try to slightly play it a bit slower. Not much is happening on the map. Drake isn't coming up soon. Herald is down. And then right here, this this is the same mistake where you did where like you burn the stun for no reason. You still kill her because I think you're just that much ahead of her. Let me check her items.
Level up.
You level up. I think you were like ahead in items as well.
I probably should have died there.
If so, I'm there's also like this is just because I play a lot of Akali and I noticed like that she messed up. If she Qs Q immediately R here instead of like waiting for no reason, you die. Because she ulted really late, yeah, and then she got a free tower shot. So she messed up really hard here. You should have died here, but she messed up like really like she fucked it up so bad in terms of mechanical skill. So okay, one thing to also point out, because Volibear did this, she kind of fucked Akali. Do you know why? Like if you look at the mini map, he came over. Some of the minions put aggro, and this screws Akali really hard. The reason is because when he poos the minions like this, these minions will kind of be like less enforced, or like there's not enough minions together to stack up. So the next wave will actually just insta kill these minions, and it will slow push to you even more. Okay, so it
because they aggroed on.
They aggro on the valley. Yeah.
Crossing the lane.
Okay. Yeah. So this move alone, like just ended Akali's career. Okay, so right now you get items, that's good. Get items, go back to lane. Right here, pan out the camera just to see what's happening. If you can help, if you can help, always help. But if not, when I say you can help, I mean you're allowed to help.
Yeah.
Clearly you can always help, but the question is, should you always help? When you're allowed to help, let's say if the wave isn't big enough, if the wave is in the middle, if you're pushed in, then sure, you can always help. But if the wave is really big, if you're really behind, if your team is not even ahead at all, then don't try it. Unless they're like hard diving tier 2 and they're inting it, then sure, go help. But in the cases that I just mentioned, think for yourself. Okay. Here you can farm. That's fine. I think this is all fine. Nothing too big is happening. I don't know what Volibear is doing there. You guys clearly have a ward. Kalen's back. This is all fine. This is really weird. Volibear was like, what the fuck? Right here. Wait, was it here? I kind of like backspace. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So around here. You didn't have your stun up. If you had it, then I think Volibear dies. Okay, this happens. You guys ARAM a bit. Understandable. It's NA. I get it. Just farm. I think this is our fine. Did you win this game?
No.
This was the other account, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You were 5-3. Huh. Okay, I'm just at this point I'm just gonna try to slightly fast forward a bit, so I can kind of see like what happened. So again, like right now you're just farming, which is fine. It's all fine. I don't know why your team is surrendering. You're 4-1. You are Annie. You're like Annie is like the low tier god of solo queue, or like the low elo god of solo queue. I'm not sure why your team is surrendering. Right here, what you need to look for is your spicy flash all-ins. Around mid to late game is where you need to look for those really spicy flash W's or flash R's, and then you just win the fight instantly if you're able to do that. Some bad habits are again, like, because this is just the first session, some bad habits are just showing, like where you're not positioning yourself well enough in lane. Let's see, nothing happens here. They get a kill. I think this is fine. You can go back to mid, collect the wave. Bot lane is a bit too far to actually for you to collect the wave. This is fine. Right here, you can walk up. You can walk up to threaten a bit, because you're under turret. If you walk up, there's no I don't want to say there's no backup because someone might be hiding here, but there's no one that can instantly gap close towards you. They have Volibear, they have Shen, they have Bart, and that's about it. So they would have to commit flashes. So, but like even if you walk up, you would have vision. So you can actually walk up just to threaten that like, oh, if you come closer, I'm gonna kill you. This is the mindset that you need to have whenever if you want to defend a turret. Obviously, if you don't have stacks, if you don't have cooldowns, then you can't do this. But if you do, look for these kind of opportunities. Okay. Yeah, because like he has to be afraid. Like you might be able to even to kill him if you just E and run towards him. At this point, these are the points in the game where like, how do I win this game when my team is kind of behind? And how do I make a comeback? Kind of comeback. Yeah, like your team isn't really too well. I guess kind of behind because your Volibear's behind. No one's really farming, so maybe it's much more drastic than I think it is. But the question is like, okay, so how do I actually make a comeback here? The best answer I can give you is that you have to look for really good opportunities to fight in. So let's say something like this happens where they're top and then Akali's mid. You know that Akali can't reach top in time before you because you're already running there. If you go for this type of fight, then there's a high chance that you can win. So what you do, right? You have flash as well. This is kind of bad because you only hit the tanks.
Yeah.
So there's that. Like right here, you have stun. This frame right here, if you flash R, W, Q, you win this fight. But you only managed to hit Volibear, I think. And this is where you get sandwiched. And then I think you do die here? No. Nope. Well, actually.
Yeah, I do die.
Okay. Yeah.
I traded.
You could have died like way clean. Like they could have killed you way cleaner, but Fiesta happens. So yeah, like those are generally the tips that you can try to practice if you're looking to win from behind. I'm not gonna go into detail like where you should be like out of lane, like where you should be laning. Like general rule is that this is what you call lane assignments. Is like when you go out of laning phase, which lane should you go to farm? Is is look at which lane doesn't have a champion in it and go to that lane and farm. That's usually the general gist of it. Do your team FF? Or like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I just FF.
What did you FF? No. Was it really that far? No, you were. I think well. I think your team was okay because think about it this way. Okay, you have Ornn, which gives you ornaments. So Ornn as a champion gives you 5k for free.
Yeah.
Okay, because he upgrades your items. Okay,
Mhm.
Jax, Jax is just fucking behind, but that's fine. He's a jungler. He's just a smite bot, kinda. He's also kind of building a weird build here. You are 5 kills. You have 5 kills. You have a good CS lead against the Akali. So you technically have 7 kills because you have an extra about 40 CS up on her. So you actually have 7 kills here. Caitlyn and Leona is kind of behind. Okay, you know what? This game is kind of bad, but but Cloud Drake is bad. I feel like these are the type of games that you can kind of play, but you shouldn't put too much focus on it. But it's whatever. I think
I feel like this happens to me all the time though. Like, I know I did it. Like, clearly I didn't do exceptionally well, but like I feel like most games, actually on this account before this game I played a Yasuo and I literally got just shit on, but it was just because I was making dumbass mistakes trying to go in for stuff when the guy was just a lot stronger than me. But it just always happens to me. Like anytime I'm in a position where I play like relatively decent, like it's just like I don't know what I should be doing to help my team.
you have to really look for opportunities in situations where when you're given to. So let's say again, like let's say right here, this fight here. Oh my goodness, no. Was this fight? Yeah, this fight here. This is one of those opportunities where like this is the freest triple I've ever seen today.
Yeah, I
Like-
seen that, and I was too afraid to go
Yeah.
all in because I didn't think my team would actually. I thought I would just, they would just leave me there to die.
I think at this point, if you get a shutdown on Twitch, it's worth it, even if you die.
Yeah.
Because if you get a shutdown when you're behind, it's generally always worth it to trade 1-for-1. Like these are opportunities where you need to like, okay, you have to look at it and you're like, okay, these are the type of opportunities that can win you a game if you do it right.
Yeah.
But you didn't, so you just lose the game straight up.
Mhm.
Obviously, like every game has different situations and scenarios where it's different for you to win the game. But these are one
Yeah.
of it that you can definitely try to come back from the game. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't think I do.
Okay.